Welcome to my channel, Frugal with John. Today we're going to walk you through how I built this fence. It's 70 feet long and I got just probably $200 or just under $200 for the whole thing. Anyway, during the video I'll show you how I built it for that price. How to build an inexpensive wooden fence. But I'll walk you down the fence and how it's made. Don't mind the mess in the backyard. I'm in the process of redoing my deck before the winter. Today, what we're tackling is putting a fence in alongside my property. I've been having problems with grass constantly being blown on my vehicles. So anyway, to rectify the problem, I'm just going to put a fence up as cheap as possible. What I'm using is T-posts. You can get them fairly inexpensive. I don't know about the US, but here they were $8.56 a post, and I needed 9 of them. So with tax and all that, that's around the $100 range. And you'll notice a lot of places this type of fence, they throw it out all the time. And because what happens is the main 4x4 or 6x6 that goes into the concrete rots away and they fall over. Well, there's still good wood and 2x4s on them. I take the 2x4 that's along right here. I cut them down, and I take the table saw. I run a groove up the center, and that groove runs inside here. Then I'm not going to put it on now, but I hammer the T-post down, and then I put the PL on here, outdoor, and clamp it until it dries. For the post, $100 for that, and $100 for the wood that goes across, and then the rest of the stuff is just used. And then when I'm done, I'll just paint it all or stain it, and it'll look brand new and it should last for years because the main support are the T-posts. First of all, you got to run a string from your main property marker, which is up there, plus another one down there. That's 150 feet. Anyway, I'm putting them just 2 inches under 8 feet. That gives me a bit of play in case I'm a little off, and less scrap wood on the cross pieces. Nice about this Milwaukee measuring tape, it's got a magnet on the end so it sticks perfect to the T-post. And we'll do 94 inches. I don't know what that is in metric because this is in feet and inches on this measuring tape. Okay, so 94. Get it started. Always wear safety glasses because when you're hitting the top of this, you get some stuff flying. I feel it hit my face. Just so you get a rough idea, I have a measure level around here. So there we go. Okay, so hammer this down, check your level. See if I can fix that twist in it. Using a big adjustable. Just so the 2x4 sits flush when you put the fence together. You can bend it after if you're off. I like trying to get it started as level as possible. Always make sure before you pound anything in the ground, make sure there's no gas pipes, electrical, anything. You should do a locate. But my locates were done here and there's actually nothing anywhere along this fence line. I want my final height 3 feet. And the wood sticks up a bit, so this got to go below 3 feet, but I'll adjust that later. And it's a little sideways, so it's moving the string. Okay, perfect. Then we get the next one in. 94. Okay, I'll adjust them once I get the wood on. Now we get the other one in. Okay, we're set at the post over there, which are already in. They're set at 3 feet. Now I got to adjust this one down to 3 feet, but the ground drops here, so I want to still keep my 3 feet height, so I may have to just drop this down. So it's going to come here and then a little step down from here over there just to keep my 3 feet. So anyway, I got to hammer these down. I've got these marked when I was sawing them. You can see one mark here, another one here. So that was when I was coming up my saw. I put a mark on my saw. I'll bring it right over to the mark to get my thing here, but that's where I want to stop. And this mark was because the blade is on a curve. So this mark here is the deepest part. And I had to go this far to this mark to get the deepest part into here. I don't know if you understood that, but anyway. So what I want is 3 inches from the bottom here off the ground. In the wintertime, the frost lifts the ground up to about 3 inches. And if I go right down to the ground, it's going to lift the whole post out. So I'm giving myself all the way up. I gave 3 inches from the bottom. Okay, so we'll mark 3 inches from the bottom of this post to here. And we cut that. You lined up? Okay, 3 feet right on. Okay, we're good. I'm going to leave that there. Let me get the next one. The reason why I'm trying to maintain 3-inch height, so if I have to drop the fence down, is because if I have a pickup truck and it's got big mirrors on it, at the 3 feet height, it could stick over the fence without hitting it and damaging the truck. If I left it level and just made the boards longer, by the time I get down here and I'm driving, if the mirror's hanging over a bit on some of the ones for the towing, it would hit and break the mirror. There's 3 feet. Essentially what the string's doing now is telling me if my posts are bent this way, and this one's a little this way, so I'll just take my wrench and twist it right here. One good thing about the metal posts, you can repair them after. Now I'm just going to get them glued in place. I'm just using PL Construction adhesive to 3 times, designed for outdoors. I just take it. Here we go. And I just run it inside. I didn't show you cutting it, but you get a better look is where I cut it, where I told you where it comes up. So that's going to be sticking out. I fill that with PL too, so no water can get in behind it. And I'll just fill this bead with PL and then let it dry. And just take it, bead full, and you put it in there. You got to work it back and forth. You can tell where it stops. I'm just going to double check. That's at my 3 feet. little lower. Okay, now it's 3 feet. And for now, I take my clamps. Oh, that shouldn't have happened. I didn't have it buckled right. Tighten these in. And the reason why I have the glove on, I'll come back later and do it. I'll get all the rest of them so I get no glue on this hand. While it's drying, what I like doing to get really tight is just put some screws and a board in there, and this will hold it much better. These are already pre-drilled with the holes when they did the ones up there. And these also get held with the outside board that goes on. It also goes on the outside and squeezes together. So it's not just glue holding it, it's actually the wood going to be holding it in place also. I didn't need to put the glue, but I figured if I did, it would secure it a little better and it would keep the water from going on the steel. So I chose a deck board. I can cut the deck board in half and I can use one piece for the top and bottom, which I've done up there. It's pretty strong. It's what, 5/8, and I like it. It's got a nice curved edge on either side of it, so I put the top edge up, doesn't hold water as much. So the 2x4s I would normally build with 2x4 pressure treat, but like I say, they're $11.42, $11.50, somewhere around there a piece. So $23 every one. And right now, by using this and cutting this in half, it's cost me $9.92 every one. So it's cut it in half, less than half. Anyway, so we're going to be cutting this. What you do here is 5.5. You measure from here. When you're doing your measurements, always make sure your saw's unplugged because you're going to be touching your blade. Make sure your blade's high enough, coming above the wood. That board's 5.5, so I got to adjust my saw at 2 3/4, which give me 5, 2, 4, 5.5. Yeah, so 2 3/4. Always unplug your saw when you're adjusting the blade. 1 foot. And also check, a lot of times these will be crooked, so you measure from here to here. Make sure you're at 1 foot, and I got a foot over here. And your center is 2 3/4, and then you lock it down. You just double check your measurement. 1. Yeah. A lot of times this gets a little crooked. There. A lot of times this gets a little crooked, so you got to measure here, and then measure center of your blade, which is 2 3/4, right dead center. So that should give me dead center of the blade. So put safety glasses on. Oh, I'm unplugged. I gotta adjust the blade just a little higher. I'm gonna see if I can hook up the shop vac to it. Okay, I'm going to hook up the shop vac. It's getting a little on the dusty side for both of us. Okay, right there, if you see the string, sometimes these posts don't go in straight, so I have to bend them, and I'll show you how I do that. I got to get each one of these posts straight on, so when I put the cross pieces on, everything's straight. This one's quite a bit out, so we'll fix that one. That one's straight. What I'm actually doing with this is bending the steel. So I got to do the last one. That one's straight. Okay, we're all straight.
Is that the right one?
This one, I don't know. This one on top. Butt it up against there. Okay, what I'm doing here is measuring, because I put these under 8 feet so I have extra room. And I'll just put a mark here, halfway over the steel, and the next piece will come here, halfway over the steel, so this wood also holds the wood and the steel together. It's not just glued. So that one's marked. Okay, let it go. Okay, in my waist will be the little pieces. Okay, so I'll go down there and cut them. So that's my waist. I've been pre-drilling, that way they don't split on me. Okay. There we go. Okay, hold it there. Got it? I'm gonna have to start lowering this top board because the ground went down. Oh.
That one there.
Okay, now the next one. So I got all my main posts in all the way down. The 2x4s are 3 inches off the ground because in the wintertime the frost will heave the ground up, and that should stop it from lifting the post up. And anyway, these were down. We had a couple of days rain, so I had to stop. You work your way down. The ground here is fairly level, so I was able to keep the level all the way down to I got to this point. So I'll bring you down here. So when I got to here, I had to just lower it one bit because the ground starts falling down a little further. So, and as you get here, it falls even further. So here I went down, and right here I had to go down one more and then straight across over here. So what I'm doing now is, you can stay there, I got to find that piece. The posts are going to go, like I say, these are all old posts, some off different fences. And I want to make sure they're under 3 feet. Simple fact is, some of the old ones are 6 feet long, so I can make 2 out of them. Like I say, doing this, being frugal. So it will go on this side, all the way across. I still got to keep these off the ground. So these are just going to be a little higher than 3 feet off the ground. And then I'll keep going down. So I'd make one template. So I'll be using this to measure all the rest of them. All the same height, everything. So I don't have to remeasure. I decided on my peak here, I didn't want a flat top. I just going with a peak. The old fence I picked up, it had a, I don't know what angle that is, but I went with 45 because it's real easy to cut on a saw, because the saw goes over to 45 and you cut it. So the peak's like that instead of whatever angle they put on this one. So I've cut them down so you can see the angle's different. But when I get to the 6-footers, I can make one here. No, that's not 6 feet. Let me check it. Ah, that's why it's 5 feet. Yeah, they're all 5 feet. So I don't think I can make 2 out of them. I can only make 1. Was not in the plans. And that's 4 feet. Well, that's a change in my plan. I might have to look for some more. There's a house up the road where their fence has fallen over. And I'll approach them and knock on the door and see if I can take the old fence that has fallen over. I already checked it. These posts on that one up there are good. So we may scrounge that one. Anyway, with the price of wood right now, I'm just trying to, like, these last for years because they're not really in the moisture. They're straighten up and standing straight up and down. So throw some stain on there. Looks brand new again. So, and I decided to go with a 2-inch gap. So I'm just going to use this piece of rubber here to set my gap in between. Basically, I'm going to have one like that. These aren't cut yet. So as I'm setting these up, it's going to have a gap like that. So I'm going to use this all the way down. I got 2 of these so I can put one on top and bottom, or I'll probably just do one at the top and just get my level and make sure they're straight. So on the other side, that's pretty much the gap they're going to be at. So anyway, I'm going to start cutting all these, taking all these apart, and we'll be back when I start putting them up. To link up to the join it, link up to my chain link fence, I took just a 2x4, made sure I had the gap underneath, and I took other 2x4s. Of course, I put a 45-degree angle on both sides. That way, if you happen to run up against, you don't cut yourself or you don't hook your clothes. And there's a piece on either side sandwiched together. And of course, it can't fall this way because this whole thing is in line. It can't go down because it's hooked on the inside. And it can't come up because it's on the hinge right here. So it's kind of wedged in there. It can't go anywhere. So I figure that's good enough. It's clean enough. And I'm going to leave it like that. I could have gotten another T-bar and hammered it in here and then attached the whole thing over again, but I figure this is good enough. So that's how I joined it. May not be the prettiest, but it's functional and it works. It can't go up, can't go down, and it can't go this way. And of course, it can't go that way because it's attached to the fence. And if you're wondering about the gate closing, as the gate closes, it moves further out, so it doesn't touch the gate whatsoever. Down to our last probably 10, 12 boards. So it's the last piece of fence I have. You look up there, total we got what, 70, a little over 70 feet. I don't know what that is in meters anyway. Comes down, it steps down, the ground drops off quite a bit here, so I got a step down over there and then I got another step down here. I'm using the same piece right here that I've been marking them. So you tell each board I've got a long ways to go. So I cut all the rod off. If you go down, look down this end. So there's rod at the bottom, but it doesn't really matter because this piece fits in between. And this one's easier to come apart. Some of the old fence I took apart had nails. So I had to use a combination of these tools, this one's pretty good. I like the east one. And then the same with the hammer. And then this one here is screwed down. It's hard to tell. It's easier if the screws come out. It's harder if they don't come out. Anyway, I still may need these. So, start taking these off. I've been keeping a bucket so I don't lose my nails or screws, so they don't end up in my tire. Even though I got a good bit on here, It's taking its toll with these old boards. So probably after I'm done all this, I'll probably have to change to a new bit. Margaret, put my template back down here. That will be what there. I already have my top string. It might look weird on the camera. I got a bottom one here, but I'm going with the top string as my top of this. So let me I get one screw started before I do anything. I take my 2-inch block, I shove it between there, and I bring it right up to the string, just off it, don't touch it. And then put my 1 screw in. So normally I would go down here and shove this and put the other screw and then put the other 2 in, but because I started a new post, I'm just going to run the level. And it's perfect. What I would do here would be adjust the level using the bottom of this and then start doing 2 inches all the way across. But it's perfect. That's my measuring one. If I would have bought all the material for this, I'd be around $2,100. And because of the design of this and using the old fences that people are throwing away, with screws and a little bit of wood I did buy, plus the T-post, I'm in at around $200. That's how you build a fence when you're frugal. Anyway, if you like the channel, give me the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching my channel. Bye for now.